Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, this is episode 1 in season 1 of Honey, I Got Something to Say. I am so excited to be starting this podcast. Who am I? My name is Chance. That's always so weird for me to say, like, my name is Chance. I feel like I sound so country, but my name is Chance. I am a fashion lover, conversation lover, lover of people, lover of different perspectives. And so I thought that it would be a great idea for me to start a podcast. What is Honey? I Got Something to Say. Who are we? What is this about? Why am I here? Well, again, I love to have conversations with people. One thing I try to live by is that everybody has a story, and it's important to have conversations. A lot of conflict, a lot of unresolved problems can be solved by simply just having a conversation. And so this podcast is basically that. It's a lifestyle podcast. It's not a gossip podcast or a reactions podcast. If you're looking for something like that, this is not that, but it is a conversation sparker. I believe that life is a journey, and I would love to have a conversation with you about life. And so we're going to be talking about everything from love life, friendships, loss, grief, fashion, food, music. I mean, I like literally everything, whatever comes up, hot topics. And I just really want it to be straight from the heart and tasteful. If you want to go on this ride with me, come along because we're going to be here for a while. As you saw from the title of this podcast episode, the topic of today is using your voice. And growing up, I never felt that I was granted the opportunity to do that. And I mean, it could have been just my perception, right? But a lot of experiences that I had growing up kind of made me feel like I didn't have a voice or like my voice wasn't important. And so that's really the main reason why. One of the core reasons why I started this podcast and why the name is Honey, I Got Something to Say, because, honey, I do have something to say. And I think it's so important for people who were never granted the access to use their voice to use it. I think that one of the biggest ways to cure something or to overcome something is to just face it head on, just to do it. That's what I've learned a lot in my life thus far with many things that I was afraid to do. Once I did it, I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then you just keep doing it and you become better and better at it. And you never know unless you don't try. So let's give it a try. So here's a little backstory. So, like I just mentioned, growing up, I was pretty shy, and I'm trying to pinpoint when that actually happened. I feel like it was sometime in elementary school. So, I was in a lot of activities. I was a ballerina when I was a little girl. I did jazz, tried my hand at softball. I was a really good swimmer. I was on the swim team for quite a while. I was in band in high school. So, like, I was really active in a lot of activities. However, when it came to like performing or speaking in front of people, that just was never my strong suit. And I think that once I stopped doing ballet, going into, I want to say, into elementary school, like I think I was like a little girl, if I can remember correctly. But going into elementary school, that's when I started to become a little shy and reserved. And that's for many reasons. We won't get into one of those other reasons in this episode. We may in other episodes, other seasons, but I think one of the main things was I never felt safe using my voice, even at home. Like, my voice was never validated. You know, when you're a kid, you need those reinforcements, those assurances that you are special, you are enough, your voice matters, you can do this, you know, like those affirmations, those core things that is so important to instill in a little girl or a little boy. And this is not to come down on my parents or say that they didn't do it right, because at the end of the day they are people, and I was there first and they were figuring out. So but I think that there were some points where I would try to speak up. And we all know in the Black household, we're always told, you know, stay in a child's place, or stay out of grown folks' business type stuff. And while those things are true, I do think it's also true that kids, if they get in trouble or if something happens, I feel like things should be explained. That's the only way they're going to understand why it's wrong or why it was inappropriate, and the only way that they're going to know moving forward, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that, maybe I shouldn't say that, maybe I should do this instead, right? And so I just feel like there weren't too many lessons being taught, it was more just like discipline. And then also sometimes when I would have a thought, not only at home but at school, it seemed that it was always funny to people, and not in like a, oh, she's funny, like she's a class clown type situation. It was like, that was stupid to be said. Like, what are you talking about? It was, my feelings and my thoughts were never validated. And that is my perception. And that is what I remember. And that is really what I think started this whole timidity thing, because at the core of who I am, I'm learning recently, quite recently, that I am not timid. I'm not shy. I am I am an introvert in the sense that I love my alone time, but I am not an introvert. I enjoy people to a certain extent. um but yeah, I mean, but these are all things that I thought I was just because of like how I grew up and things that would happen to me. From that, I just decided I'm not smart. I don't know anything. I'm not intelligent. People don't care about my thoughts. So I'm just going to lean into this pretty thing I got going on. Everybody keeps saying I'm pretty. My eyes are pretty. Your hair is so pretty. You're pretty. Pretty, 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 pretty. So I'm like, okay, so I'll just be pretty. And I really started to become super self absorbed, selfish. What's the word? It starts with the S. I won't say I was materialistic, but I was superficial. That's the word. I was very superficial. It was all about my looks. I was the girl, every time we were out, I'm on my phone like this, or I'm recording something, like never living in the moment, because I'm so self-absorbed and I'm so into like myself and what's going on with me. Me. I just leaned into that pretty, leaned into being superficial, and I didn't feel guilty about it until about my junior year of college. Um, I've always been a sweet girl. So when I say this, I don't want y'all to think like I was a mean girl, I was this, I was that. No, that wasn't me. I've never been like the popular chick. That's never been me. But I was self absorbed. I will say that. I will admit that. I don't know. Something clicked in me junior year of college where I was just like, actually, it's not about you. Actually, you are intelligent. And I say something, but I know now that it was God, it was Holy Spirit tugging at my heart and telling me like, this life, this life that I'm allowing you to live is not about you. It's about the people that I want you to help. And it's about your loved ones. It's about, you know, now I'm getting into social work. I'm going back to get my master's. It's about these people that I want you to minister to, the people that I've called you to, that probably feel the way that you felt when you were younger, that feel that they don't have a voice, that feel that they're all they can offer and the best they can offer is their looks, or what they can offer somebody with their body, because a lot of when we do that too, right? And I fell into that as well. but you're so much more than that. And so I'm just here to affirm you in that you are not just your body. You're not just your hair, your eyes, your looks, and encourage you to go to therapy because that's something that really helped me heal and get past all of those points. You should maybe change your friend circle because a lot of my friends were encouraging me and feeding mess to me. And that's no fault of their own because you are only you're only who you know to be, right? So maybe they didn't have the examples to even like help be an example for me and vice versa. It's just really important that your circle is good, that you're in therapy, that you're getting wise counsel and um you're feeding yourself, and then also like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode that you are forcing yourself, really you have to force yourself to do the things that you're afraid to do. One something my mother said, some really good advice she gave me years ago was she said, most things I do scared. And that's so true. Like, again, if you never try it, if you never step out on faith and take that leap towards that thing that you've always wanted to do, if you never choose to do the presentation or say yes to the opportunity to speak at the event or whatever the case may be, you'll never be able to use your voice. You'll never know that you have a powerful voice that touches people and people can relate to. You'll never know. So do it and do it afraid. And you'll get over it. Like you'll probably do it afraid like prime the what am I trying to say? You'll probably do it afraid the first 50 times, to be honest. Like, but the more you do it, the more confident you will become, the more sure of yourself you will be. And I'm here to reassure you that everything's going to be okay. If you speak in front of people, you will not die. Like, you're not going to explode and implode or whatever. Like, it's going to be fine. And so just do those things you've always wanted to do. And then my last piece of advice for you is really try to figure out where this thing started. It's important. It's so important, y'all, to look at your life and evaluate. I do this daily, personally. I don't know if that's excessive, but that's just the kind of person that I am. I do this on a daily basis where I kind of sit down and you can journal it. Sometimes I like to voice record it, but I just take a look at my whole day and say, okay, if something, for example, happened that I didn't want to happen, I got in an argument with somebody, or, I just got out of character a little bit. I'm like, how can I make that better? And where did that anger stem from anyway? Like, why did that make me so upset? Because every reaction has a starting point. It has a reason. There's a seed that was sown, whether it was yesterday, years ago, months ago. It's always a seed. Whether it was a seed that was sown even before you were here, right? So I think it's important, and the most really arguably the most important part of this whole process is to really see where this seed started. Where was it sown? When was it planted? And to deal with that part of it first and foremost. Once you can deal with the seed, once you can deal with the root, I believe that you'll be able to conquer all of your fears. That is my prayer for you. That's my hope for you. So, yeah, y'all, that's all my advice. That is who I am. That is who or what Honey, I Got Something to Say is. And I cannot wait to go on this journey together. I hope you enjoyed this first episode, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.